Hi, Uncle John here, and we're going to go ahead and do another video in Breath of the Wild. And we are going to go from the shrine we just finished to the Central Hyrule Tower. I decided to do this right after I completed the shrine. Unfortunately, I forgot to record my voice, or actually I had some technical issues recording my voice, and I'm having to re-record this. So this is not live commentary, this is after-the-fact commentary. So on our way to the tower, we ran across this Guardian Stalker, which are generally a fairly tough enemy to beat, but if you are good at perfect parry, then they are not that hard. So I went ahead and I just got 3 perfect parries right in a row, and that is enough to defeat a Guardian Stalker. So Guardian Stalkers do sometimes drop ancient cores, however this particular one did not. But I got several ancient parts from it. There are other techniques to defeat them that are often, well, they can result in more drops, and they're I find them more fun, but at this stage in the game, that was the safe and easy way to defeat the Guardian Stalker. Then I got jumped by a Yiga dude, and after I got jumped by the Yiga dude, I decided that just in case I got jumped by anything else that was not a Guardian, to switch my weapon, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's actually a terrible idea because I'm going to kill Guardians. Because around the Central Hyrule Tower, there are 2 Decayed Guardians, and there are a number of Guardian Stalkers that roam around the area, but I got the only one that was going to be a problem for us climbing the tower. So I saw that there were some insects in the area, and I went ahead and snuck so that I could get any of them that I was going to get. Now, with these Decayed Guardians, Perfect Parry also gets them, but it only takes 1 shot. So that Decayed Guardian I made quick work of. So that is yet another thing that a reason to get good at parrying. And then there was this other one over here, which I saw and I went after. In Master Mode, there are actually 3 of them around here. And so I thought there was going to be another one to deal with, but there was not. I switched weapons to the axe because the Guardian weapons have fairly low durability, and they are very good if I actually had to get into melee with one of the Guardians. But there I did manage to get locked on and do a perfect parry from a pretty good distance. And then I go ahead and I take a picture of the rusty halberd for my compendium. So we go ahead and save that. And then we run into these guys, and I'm already using a 2-handed weapon, which with the stall moblins, if you're not using a 2-handed weapon, it takes 2 hits to knock them into pieces. But if you're using a 2-handed weapon, then they get knocked into pieces with 1 hit. So I go ahead and I take these 2 stall moblins out, and I get that head right before it gets picked up by the other stall moblin. And we go ahead and we get our loot. It looks like I actually left behind the loot from those keys. I was mostly interested in not getting hit by them. I do notice another Decayed Guardian out here a ways, and I go after it because I remember from Master Mode there being 3 Decayed Guardians, and I don't want to risk getting hit on the thing. Before I notice the Decayed Guardian that's way off, I do notice these two completely dead guardians, which you can often loot. So I get an ancient screw and an opal out of them, which I didn't even know that you could get opals out of them until I was watching this playback. I didn't even realize that's what I got. I didn't pay that close of attention to my loot. But there's another decayed guardian, and it's probably far enough off that I didn't need to worry about it, because it doesn't notice me until I get quite close. On my way there, I noticed these sunset fireflies, and so I go ahead and I pick them up, 2 of them I believe, so that I can use them later, either in potions or to upgrade various pieces of armor. I think that I missed this one actually, but let's see. Yes, I do not get that. I do get that one. 3. So that was actually quite productive. But then I noticed the guardian, and I go ahead and take a picture of it before it gets a full lock on. So that it is now in my compendium. And then we go ahead and we run orthogonal to the to it, so that we don't get hit if it fires before we're ready to parry. That is another good technique for use with guardians, is you don't go straight towards or away from them. And then we also get a picture of the claymore for the compendium. It is my practice to get all the pictures for the compendium that I can, and I did not. Next time I play, I probably need to get one of these Yiga foot soldiers, because they are an enemy type that you can have in the compendium. And we go ahead and we get a critical shot to the face for him. And we collect some of our... we collect a little bit of loot. And then we head back towards the tower to finally climb it. So other than the guardians that you have to defeat to make it safe to climb, this tower is not that difficult. It's fairly straightforward. But if you're new to the game, having the trouble with the guardians can be quite the problem. Okay, so I had a little bit of difficulty with my jumps there, and I needed to rest afterwards to bring my stamina back up. But we're getting close to the top. Okay, so like I said, this is not a particularly complex shrine. It is a fairly long shrine, but there's nothing too terribly difficult about it. So go ahead and we put our thing in. This Sheikah Slate authenticated. We get the nice little cutscene. Scanning area. And now we get another chunk of the map for Central Hyrule, which goes all the way over to the wetland stable. And then while we're up here, we go ahead and we do a little bit of quick scouting. And once you get some decent levels and everything, it can be helpful to get close to Hyrule Castle. There are some very nice weapons and things in the castle that you can collect. So I go ahead and I set a pin for this shrine. We go ahead and we go towards it. It is night, and in most of the world, night means stall enemies. I believe in all of the world, night means stall enemies, actually. And after I kill that one with the Thunder Blade, I decide to switch over to my axe because it's not worth using Thunder Blade durability on those. We go ahead and we collect the Moblin loot. Now here is the downside of the axe, is that when you run against choo-choos, they actually are not particularly bothered by it, and because they have actual hit points and not stupid mechanics like the stall enemies do, or no hit points like the Keese. So right about now I've noticed that my Sheikah sensor is not going off, even though I'm getting close to where I marked, and I start to get a little suspicious. And it turns out that I actually marked a hill in front of where I was going. But soon enough I find where I actually want to go, and I go ahead and mark it. And I shield surf towards it. And then I realize that I don't want to break that shield. So I switch over to the reinforced Blizzle shield, which in Tears of the Kingdom actually has some bonuses towards shield surfing. And I see this Guardian Stalker, and I'm like, okay, I'll take a picture of it and get it in my compendium, which is very useful late in game when you want to hunt Guardian Stalkers for Guardian parts for certain items that you can get from Robbie, or to upgrade them at the Great Fairy Fountain. And I messed up my parry, so I switch over to my good shield, and I don't mess up my parries. I get all 3 of them successful. That's 2. And that's 3. And no ancient core that time either. But I'm not that worried about it. We get going back towards our shrine. Now there is another Decayed Guardian here. And up above there is a Guardian Skywatcher, which we are not ready to take on. But I am certainly ready to take a picture of it. And we screw up our parry there. We have to go to a different shield. But we do get the perfect parry on the second try. And we go ahead and get loot. Those never have cores. The Guardian Stalkers, Guardian Turrets, and Guardian Skywatchers will sometimes have cores. But I am not yet ready to take on a Skywatcher. And turrets are only found in Hyrule Castle. You can only enjoy one ingredient from a dish or elixir at a given time. If you're relying on a special effect, don't override it with a different effect. So this is the Katah Chuki shrine. And it is a minor test of strength. So we go ahead and we switch over to our sword. Our Guardian Sword. And I actually do extremely well at this test of strength. But it is a scrub tier test of strength. We go ahead and we get the perfect dodge, and we use up our sword on it. And I was expecting it to do a different technique than it wound up doing, but this technique is one that we can deal with. And a perfect parry later. And we've defeated the threat. I was actually expecting it to do a whirly death thing where it runs into the pillars. I go ahead and take a picture of the Guardian Spear to get it into my compendium. And pick it up and pick up the parts. And the final prize is a royal halberd that we don't need yet. So I don't empty out my inventory for it because I'm thinking that these guardian weapons will actually be more useful to me against Thunderblight Ganon. And we are trying to farm up to defeat Thunderblight Ganon. And just get some additional resources to beat it. So now we get our Spirit Orb. And it makes us feel even more powerful, and that does get us up to 4 Spirit Orbs, so we will be able to get another heart container or stamina vessel when we see the goddess again. But I do believe that for the next one I will do a heart container. Okay, so now that we're done with the shrine, I just determined that I need some more shields and some generally better gear, and I consider where I can go. And eventually I determined that the best place to go will be to Kakrio Village to go on the path to the next memory. So that is indeed where we wind up going. So yes, that's the Nature Snowfield, and that body of water there is called the Lanayro Promenade. And that is where we are ultimately going, and where we are ultimately going to end the episode when I get through there. Because that is where one of the memories is, and it is also where we can get a lot of other good stuff. So I actually start out going the wrong way. Okay, we look there, we go the other way. I'm a little confused as to which way east is, but we take a look at things anyway. We're gonna hop over to this other mountain. All these mountains is in Hyrule might be a little bit of an indication that it's a Japanese game, and they have a Japanese understanding of medieval Europe. Though it being Kakrio Village, which is very, very prehistoric Japan inspired, might have something to do with it too. That's when I figure out that I went the wrong way. And we just hop on our paraglider and fly back. I forget about this bloopy being here, or I would have already had my camera out. We come across it, and I hit the wrong button. And it's already run past me and gotten away before I move to shoot it with either my bow or my camera. It's okay, we'll catch it later. So as we get to the Great Fairy Fountain, we see that there are a few fairies hanging out. And I need fairies badly because I suck. And because we are getting bodied by Thunderblight. So I wait here and wait here and wait here for this fairy to drop down to grabbable range. And as you can see, it's kind of wanting to fly high to not get grabbed. And then there's one more fairy over here for a total of 3. And we also collect some of these herbs, the Blue Nightshade and the Silent Princess herbs. And we also go and we get some carrots. Which carrots are, these Endura carrots are some of the best vegetables in the game. They will give you a, they will complete, if you cook one of them in a dish, it will completely fill your stamina and give you bonus stamina. So anytime I can collect those, I do prefer to collect them. So once we've gotten everything from right around the fairy fountain, we go ahead and we start heading along. I am looking at the tree bases, but not super closely, for Endura shrooms, but I did not see any this time. Endura shrooms are just like Endura carrots, but not quite as powerful as far as the bonus stamina goes, but they are both very useful to create dishes that can help you out. And this is a Korok puzzle. And this type of puzzle uses magnesis, and you just make the match with the extra piece on the one. And that's nice. We got another Korok seed. And we murder this Yiga guy. Fairly effectively. And we drop another bow to grab his. They're not the highest durability bow, but their two-out arrow thing is quite nice.
Oh.
Okay, and this traveler accosts us and doesn't let us not talk to him. And he wants to tell us about the Yiga clan, and we tell him we'll pass. And he gets all butthurt about that and attacks us because he's Yiga.
Huh?
So, a group of brave warriors founded by Master Koga, who you defeated, set on defeating the hero long thought dead. I will take your life. And I go ahead and I switch over to the Thunderblade. Unfortunately, he does not drop his weapon from getting thunderized. And he does hit us quite hard. And we have to eat to recover the hit points. And I take a picture of his weapon, which is a Demon Carver. And this weapon is forged by the Yiga, and the sound it makes brings terror into the hearts of those that it cuts up. So I go ahead and I figure out a weapon to drop. And I go ahead and I get rid of my most used up Ancient Spear. Not Ancient Spear, Guardian Spear. And there is where I am wanting to go. So I check my map, and then I head on over. I am sorry about the skips. My recording setup is a little wonky, and my power supply on the Raspberry Pi that I actually do my recording on is not always the best, and I have skips when I get under voltage conditions, which are unfortunately common. So we come along and we run into a camp of Botws, and I'm going to go ahead and try and hit them with Magnesis box, but I fail. But I do manage to flurry swipe them both at once. Flurry rush them both at once, which gets me a good amount of loot. Unfortunately, the Yiga weapons do not have the best durability in the world, but they are a lot of fun. And I'm out of arrows. And we managed to get the flurry rush there. And I could be working on getting those things, but okay. The shrine sensor's going off. And we did not get the armor from Zora's domain. That ring there is a Korok, but I don't get it this time. I'll have to go back and get it later. So we go ahead and use Cryonis to bridge across there. And there's a treasure chest. It had some fire arrows in it, which we can make use of. And we climb up this wall a little ways, because I remember a little bit about this shrine from my other playthroughs. But it's been a while since I actually did this shrine or those other playthroughs, so... well, that would be spoiling. I see these ore deposits and I want to go ahead and blow them up and get the ore out of them. We've got the Dow Na'eh shrine. And we go ahead and activate it. And this shrine's actually pretty fun. So this shrine's called the Three Boxes, and there is a way that you are supposed to defeat it, but I decide to cheese it instead. So these pressure plates require a certain amount of weight on it, and this one wants you to have 3 chests. But I don't feel like going through this the right way, so instead I get out some wood. And burning wood, for some reason, in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is heavier than unlit wood. So we go ahead and we light 5 of them. And that's enough to actually beat the level. We get some amber. And we do go ahead and we get the boxes that you would need to put up there. But we just loot them. An opal. And make it over to here. Do we find the third box? So we just sort of do things a little out of order here. And that's the Zora longsword, and we leave it. And there we go. All the treasures gotten, and your cleverness subverts a prophecy of, or speaks of the promise of a hero. So in the name of the goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you the spirit orb. That brings us up to 5. So we can definitely have another heart container the next time we go and face Thunderblight Ganon. Now I do try to fly through the waterfall, but in Breath of the Wild they knock you down. I wind up nearly running out of stamina and deciding that I'm just going to warp back and go out the right way. If I had more stamina, I could have recovered from that, but it's okay. Now when I warp back to the shrine, I see that there is some luminous stone, which I have not yet taken a picture of the luminous stone ore. So we go ahead and we take a picture of that, so that we have it in our compendium. And we use a bomb to blow it up and collect luminous stone. Now luminous stone is useful sometimes because first off, it is one of the easiest decent value ores to find, and secondly, you can trade it at the Zora's Domain. You can trade 10 luminous stones for a diamond. Now if you are wanting to sell the diamonds, this is actually a terrible trade because the 10 luminous stone have a higher sale value than the diamond that you can get for them. A single diamond, the first time they give you 2 diamonds, and that is a better deal than the sale price of 10 luminous stones. We go ahead and we take this Lizalfos out. I missed my perfect parry by, or perfect dodge by going too soon. And I missed parrying that. But I don't miss hitting it in the face with an arrow. And I do go ahead and I'm going to try and get out to its loot pile with Cryonis. Now we get back to the roadway. we've got some Botws up here. And they're going to start shooting arrows at us. And I try to get a perfect dodge on these guys to flurry rush them, but it doesn't happen. And I try another perfect dodge, and oh, I don't even dodge. I'll go ahead and collect those arrows. And then I decide that I'm taking too much damage from trying to dodge. And that I should just kill it. And my demon carver was running low on energy, on durability, and was about to break, so I went ahead and threw it to try and do some extra damage. But we do get some nice arrows out of that. We switch back to our regular arrows since we have so few fire arrows as well. So now we are nearly at the end, and we have a Yiga to kill, and also a blue or a black mob. I'm not sure which it is, and we wind up losing a lot of hearts and wind up using up some of our fairies. And some of our shields. We take his club and beat him to death with it after the first club we had breaks. And we take his shield. And then we pick up the bananas and the money from the Yiga dude. And we are finally to our memory at the east gate of the Lanayru Road. So we go ahead and we remember it. Which involves us taking out the Sheikah slate and looking at it and at the picture, and we remember what happened 100 years ago.
Well, don't keep us in suspense. How'd everything go up there on the mountain?
So you didn't feel anything? No power at all?
I'm sorry, no. Then let's move on. You've done all you could. Feeling sorry for yourself won't be of any help. After all, it's not like your last shot was up there on Mount Lanayru. Anything could finally spark the power to seal Ganon away. We just have to keep looking for that thing.
That's kind of you. Thank you.
If I may, I thought you... well, I'm not sure how to put this into words. I'm actually quite embarrassed to say it. But I was thinking about what I do when I'm healing. You know, what usually goes through my mind. It helps when I think about...
This is it, then.
Are you sure?
Positive.
It's awake. Ganon.
Let's stop wasting time. We're gonna need everything we got to take that thing down. Now, champions, to your divine beasts, show that swirling swine who's boss. Link will need to meet Ganon head-on when we attack. This needs to be a unified assault. Little guy, you get to Hyrule Castle. You can count on us for support, but it's up to you to pound Ganon into oblivion.
Come, we should go. We need to get you someplace safe.
No. I'm not a child anymore. I may not be much use on the battlefield, but there must be something I can do to help.
And that completes the memory, and that is going to complete our video as well. So please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and tell your friends about this channel so that we can keep growing. And please take care of yourselves and have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.